Honey, let me tell you how my brother sold our family home behind my back. The same house our mother entrusted to us with her dying tears. The same house that held all our childhood memories. Sold it to a stranger and spent the money on gambling and his bachelor lifestyle. He thought I was just a simple woman who couldn't do anything. Thought I'd just sit and cry. But honey, I sat down all right, but not to cry, to plan. I spent 2 years, saved every single cent I had, took every opportunity that came my way. And then I bought that house back. And when I stood at the door with the ownership papers in my hand and told him he had to leave, his face, that shocked and shattered face, it was sweeter than any revenge I'd ever imagined. Now settle in, because this story starts 35 years ago, when my mother bought that house with her own 2 hands. Part 1. The house Mama built. The house at 247 Oakwood Drive wasn't fancy. It was a modest 3-bedroom ranch in a working-class neighborhood. But to my mother, Margaret Williams, it was everything. It was security. It was pride. It was proof that a black woman could own something in this world. My mother bought that house in 1988. She was a single mother with 2 kids, me, age 7, and my brother Daniel, age 5. Our father had left when Daniel was a baby. Never sent a dime, never looked back. Mama raised us alone, working double shifts as a nurse at the county hospital. I remember the day we moved in. Mama stood in the empty living room with tears streaming down her face. "This is ours," she kept saying. "Nobody can take this from us. This is ours." She worked so hard for that house. Extra shifts, holidays, weekends. She wore the same 3 uniforms for years because every extra dollar went to the mortgage. She painted the walls herself, fixed the plumbing herself, mowed the lawn herself. That house was her baby, her pride, her legacy. Daniel and I grew up in that house. We measured our heights on the kitchen doorframe. We played in the backyard. We did our homework at the dining room table. Every wall held a memory. Every room told a story. Mama always said, "When I'm gone, this house goes to both of you. You take care of it. You take care of each other." She made us promise. Made us swear on her life that we'd never sell it, never let it go, never forget what it meant. We promised, both of us, standing in that living room, holding her hands, we promised. Part 2. The Golden Child. Daniel was always Mama's favorite. I hate to say it, but it's true. He was the baby, the boy, the one who could do no wrong. When he got bad grades, Mama said the teachers didn't understand him. When he got in trouble, Mama said the system was against him. When he needed money, Mama gave it to him without question. Me, I was the responsible one, the one who got good grades without praise, the one who worked part-time in high school to buy my own clothes, the one who was expected to be strong, independent, self-sufficient. Don't get me wrong, I loved my brother. When we were kids, we were close. He was funny, charming, always knew how to make me laugh. But as we got older, something changed. He started expecting things, started feeling entitled, started thinking the world owed him something just for existing. I went to college on scholarships and student loans, worked full-time while taking classes, Graduated with a nursing degree, just like Mama. Got a good job at the same hospital where she worked. Started paying off my loans, building my life, being responsible. Daniel? He went to community college for a semester and dropped out. Said it wasn't for him. Tried a dozen different jobs. Delivery driver, warehouse worker, sales associate. Never lasted more than a few months at any of them. Always had an excuse. Boss was racist. Coworkers were jealous. Job was beneath him. But Mama always defended him. He's finding his way, she'd say. Not everyone's path is the same. Meanwhile, she was still giving him money, paying his car insurance, buying his groceries, basically supporting a 30-year-old man who should have been supporting himself. I tried to talk to her about it. Mama, you're enabling him. He needs to stand on his own. Don't tell me how to raise my son, she'd snap back. Daniel needs help right now. When you needed help, I was there for you too. But she wasn't. Not really. I'd needed help with tuition, and she said she couldn't afford it. I'd needed help with my first apartment deposit, and she said I needed to learn to manage money. But Daniel got whatever he asked for. Part 3. Mama's last days. Mama got sick 3 years ago. Pancreatic cancer. Stage 4 by the time they found it. The doctors gave her 6 months. She lasted 8, fighting every day, determined to see one more Christmas, one more birthday, one more Sunday dinner with her kids. I took care of her, moved back into the house at Oakwood Drive to be with her full time. Took a leave from work, cooked her meals, gave her medications, helped her to the bathroom, held her hand through the pain. It was the hardest thing I'd ever done, watching my strong, fierce mother become weak and fragile. Daniel visited. Once a week, maybe. He'd stay for an hour, tell Mama some stories about his latest job prospect or business idea. Make her laugh, then leave. He never helped with her care. Never offered to sit with her so I could rest. Never cleaned or cooked or did anything except show up and be charming. But Mama's face would light up when he walked in. "There's my baby boy," she'd say. And Daniel would kiss her forehead and tell her everything was going to be okay. 2 weeks before she died, Mama called us both into her bedroom. She was so thin by then, her skin almost translucent. But her mind was sharp. "I need to talk to you about the house," she said. Her voice was weak but determined. "I'm putting it in both your names. Equal ownership. 50-50. "Mama, you don't need to worry about that now," I said. "Yes, I do. I need to know you'll both be taken care of." She looked at Daniel. "Baby, this house is your security. You live here as long as you need to. Don't ever sell it. It's your home." Then she looked at me. "Eve, I know you're doing fine on your own, but this is yours too. Promise me you'll watch out for Daniel. Make sure he doesn't do anything foolish." "I promise, Mama." "Both of you promise me. Promise me you'll never sell this house. Promise me you'll take care of it like I did." "We promise," we said together. She died 2 weeks later, holding my hand, with Daniel standing at the foot of the bed, looking uncomfortable. Her last words were, "Take care of each other. Take care of the house." Part 4. The betrayal. After Mama died, Daniel kept living in the house. I moved back to my apartment across town, but came by regularly to check on things, to make sure Daniel was maintaining the place, paying the utilities, keeping up with the property taxes. At first, everything seemed fine. The house looked good. Daniel said he was working at a new job, doing well, thinking about going back to school. I believed him. I wanted to believe him. But then I started noticing things. Mail piling up, lawn overgrown, trash not taken out. When I asked Daniel about it, he'd say he was busy. He'd get to it. Don't worry about it. Then the calls started coming. Utility companies saying bills were overdue. The county saying property taxes hadn't been paid. I paid them. Used my own money to keep the house from going into foreclosure. Covered the water bill, the electric bill, the gas bill. When I confronted Daniel, he got defensive. I'm going through a hard time right now, Eve. I lost my job. I'm looking for work. Then get unemployment. Get any job. You can't just live here for free while I pay all the bills. Mama wanted me to live here. She said this was my home. She wanted you to take care of it. Not let it fall apart while I foot the bill. We fought. He said I was being selfish, that I made more money than him, that I didn't understand how hard things were for a black man trying to make it. I said he was making excuses, that Mama had babied him too much, that he needed to grow up. It didn't change anything. I kept paying the bills because I couldn't let Mama's house go into foreclosure. Couldn't let her legacy die. Then, a year after Mama's death, I got a call from a title company. They were calling to confirm some details about the sale of 247 Oakwood Drive. My blood ran cold. What sale? The sale of the property. We're closing next week. We just need to verify your signature on the deed. I never signed anything. Who authorized this sale? Your co-owner, Daniel Williams. He brought in the paperwork. We assumed you were aware. I hung up and called Daniel immediately. He didn't answer. I called 10 more times. Nothing. I drove to the house. His car was there, but he wouldn't answer the door. I used my key and went inside. Found him in the living room, surrounded by papers. What have you done? I demanded. He couldn't look at me. I sold the house. You what? I needed the money, Eve. I'm in debt. Bad debt. I had to sell. That wasn't your house to sell. It's half mine. You can't sell without my permission. I forged your signature. He said it so casually, like it was nothing. The buyer didn't ask many questions. They were paying cash. Quick sale. I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. You forged my signature. You sold Mama's house. The house she made us promise to keep. She's dead, Eve. She's not here anymore. And I needed the money. For what? What was so important that you'd betray Mama's memory? Betray me? He didn't answer, just looked away. Later, I found out. Gambling debts. Daniel had been going to casinos, betting on sports, losing thousands of dollars. He owed dangerous people. The house sale was his way out. He got $200,000 for the house, paid off his debts, and spent the rest on God knows what. I got nothing. Not a penny, not even a warning. Part 5. The investigation. I went to a lawyer immediately, told her everything. She reviewed the sale documents and shook her head. The sale is legal. The forgery is fraud, yes, but proving it will be difficult. You'd have to take your brother to court, possibly get him arrested. And even then, the sale might stand because the buyer purchased in good faith. So I just lose my mother's house? I just let him get away with this? You could sue him for your half of the proceeds. You're entitled to $100,000. But if he's spent it all, you might not recover anything. I left her office feeling defeated, betrayed, destroyed. But then something shifted in me. Anger. Pure, white, hot anger. My brother had stolen from me, had betrayed our mother's dying wish, had forged my signature and sold our family home like it meant nothing. I wasn't going to just roll over and take it. I started investigating. Found out who bought the house. A real estate investor named Robert Chen. He'd bought it as a rental property. Was planning to fix it up and rent it out. I called him, introduced myself, told him I was the previous owner's daughter and that I had an emotional attachment to the property. Asked if he'd consider selling it back to me. Some. Maybe, he said, but I just bought it. I'm planning to hold it for at least a few years. Build equity. What if I offered you more than you paid? How much more? I don't know yet, but I'm serious. I want that house back. He laughed. Tell you what, if you can come up with $250,000 in the next 2 years, we'll talk. That's what I think it'll be worth after I renovate it. $250,000. I had maybe $30,000 in savings. I'd need to come up with $220,000 more. Most people would have given up. Said it was impossible. Said I should move on. But I'm not most people. I'm Margaret Williams' daughter. And my mama taught me that nothing is impossible if you're willing to work for it. Part 6. The grind. I worked like I'd never worked before. Picked up every extra shift at the hospital. Worked doubles, triples, holidays, weekends. Slept 4 hours a night. Lived on coffee and debt. I got a second job, working nights at an urgent care clinic. Then a third job, doing telehealth consultations on my days off. I was working 100 hours a week. My body ached. My eyes burned. But I kept going. I sold everything I didn't need. Furniture, clothes, jewelry, electronics. Had a garage sale every month. Sold Mama's old china set that I'd been saving. Her jewelry. Anything that could bring in money. I moved out of my apartment into a tiny studio to save on rent. Stopped eating out. Stopped buying new clothes. Stopped doing anything that wasn't essential. Every single dollar went into savings. I took online courses in real estate investing. Learned about the stock market. Started making smart investments with the little money I had. Some paid off, some didn't. But slowly, my savings grew. After 1 year, I had $80,000. After 18 months, I had $140,000. After 22 months, I had $200,000. I called Robert Chen. I'm ready. I have the money. Already? I'm impressed. Okay, let's talk. We negotiated. He wanted $270,000 now because he'd put $50,000 into renovations. The house looked beautiful. New kitchen, new bathrooms, fresh paint, refinished floors. I convinced him to take $250,000. Used every negotiation tactic I'd learned. Finally, he agreed. I got a mortgage for the remaining $50,000 I needed. 30 years at a high interest rate because I was stretching myself thin. But I didn't care. I was getting Mama's house back. The closing took 3 weeks. 3 long weeks where I barely slept. Terrified something would fall through. But finally, the day came. I sat in the title office and signed paper after paper. And then the agent handed me the keys. Congratulations, Miss Williams. You're now the owner of 247 Oakwood Drive. I held those keys and cried. After 2 years of hell, of working myself to the bone, of sacrificing everything, I'd done it. I'd gotten Mama's house back. Part 7. The Eviction. Daniel was still living in the house. Robert had let him stay as a renter, charging below market rent out of sympathy. Daniel had no idea I was buying the place back. I'd made sure of it. The day after closing, I drove to Oakwood Drive, parked in front of that beautiful house with its fresh paint and new landscaping. Walked up to the door and knocked. Daniel answered. He looked surprised to see me. We hadn't spoken in 2 years, not since he sold the house. Eve, what are you doing here? I came to tell you something. I held up the keys. I bought the house. It's mine now. His face went white. What? I bought it back. Worked 2 years, saved every penny, and bought back Mama's house. The house you sold. The house you stole from both of us. You can't do that. I live here. Not anymore. You have 30 days to vacate. That's the legal requirement. After that, I'm filing for eviction. Eve, come on. Where am I supposed to go? I don't care. You didn't care where I was supposed to go when you sold this house without telling me. You didn't care about Mama's wishes. You didn't care about our promise. So why should I care about you now? I'm your brother. You were my brother. Then you betrayed me, forged my signature, stole my inheritance. You stopped being my brother the day you sold this house. His shock turned to anger. You can't kick me out. I'll fight this. Go ahead, fight it, but you'll lose. I own this house, free and clear. Well, mostly clear. I have a small mortgage, but it's in my name alone. You have no claim, no rights, nothing. What about the money I paid Robert in rent? I've been paying rent for 2 years. And I'm sure Robert appreciated it. But that's between you and him. You're not a tenant anymore. You're a squatter. And if you're not out in 30 days, the sheriff will remove you. I could see him calculating, trying to figure out an angle, trying to manipulate me like he'd done his whole life. Eve, please, I'm sorry. I was desperate. I made a mistake. Can't we work something out? Let me stay and pay you rent. No, I'll pay you back. Every penny, I swear. With what money, Daniel? You're broke. You've always been broke because you've never been responsible. Mama enabled you your whole life, but I'm not Mama. I'm not going to support you. I'm not going to save you. You made your choices. Now live with them. She was my mother too. I have just as much right to this house as you do. No. You had half ownership. You sold it. That was your choice. I bought it back. That was my choice. And now I'm choosing to live here. Alone. Without you. I turned to leave. I'll tell every man what you did, he shouted after me. I'll tell them you're a cold, heartless woman who kicked her own brother out on the streets. I stopped and turned back. Go ahead. Tell them. Tell them how you sold our dying mother's house behind my back. how you forged my signature, how you spent the money on gambling. Tell them all of that. See who they sympathize with. He had nothing to say to that. I drove away, and for the first time in 2 years, I felt light, free, victorious. Epilogue. Home again. 30 days later, Daniel moved out. He didn't say goodbye, just packed his stuff and left while I was at work. I came home to an empty house. Well, not empty. He'd left garbage, broken furniture, damage to the walls. His final act of petty revenge. I didn't care. I cleaned it up, repainted where needed, fixed what was broken, made it home again. I live in Mama's house now. Sleep in her bedroom, cook in her kitchen, sit on her porch. Every day I feel her presence, feel her pride, feel her love. I kept my promise, Mama. I got the house back. I'm taking care of it, just like you asked. As for Daniel, I heard through cousins that he's living with a friend, working part-time at a warehouse, struggling. Some family members think I'm cruel, think I should have let him stay, think I should have forgiven him. But forgiveness doesn't mean enabling, doesn't mean letting someone walk all over you, doesn't mean sacrificing yourself for someone who wouldn't do the same for you. Daniel had chance after chance. Mama gave him everything, and he threw it all away. That's not my fault. That's not my responsibility. What is my responsibility is honoring Mama's legacy, protecting what she built, living in this house she worked so hard for, and making her proud. Every Sunday, I cook dinner in her kitchen, invite friends, fill the house with laughter and love. Make it what Mama wanted it to be, a home, not a commodity, not a quick sale, a home. And you know what the best part is? Daniel can never take that from me again. Never sell it, never gamble it away, never destroy what Mama built. This house is mine now. Truly, fully, completely mine. And I'm never letting it go. So, honey, if you take anything from my story, let it be this. Never let anyone steal your legacy. Not your brother, not your family. No one. Fight for what's yours. Work for it. Sacrifice for it. Because the things worth having are worth fighting for. And when someone betrays you, when someone steals from you, don't just get mad. Get even. Get smart. Get strategic. And then get what's rightfully yours. My brother thought he could sell our mother's house, and I'd just accept it. Just move on. Just let him win. But he underestimated me. Underestimated what I was willing to do. Underestimated how strong Margaret Williams raised her daughter to be. And now he knows. Now everyone knows. You don't mess with Eve Williams' family home. Because Eve Williams will work 2 years straight, sacrifice everything, and buy it back just to watch you pack your bags and leave. And honey, it was worth every single penny. The end. Told by Eve, a woman who lost her family home but fought to get it back and won.